Y'all talking? Y'all saying anything? No? Okay.
Nope.
Baduism is one of the greatest albums.
What is?
Baduism.
Oh, yeah, that's a good album.
It's a spectacular album.
Like, where did that come from? Were y'all talking about Erykah Badu?
Song. I posted Erykah Badu song on my story with a picture with his head wrap on because that's what it is.
Okay. I gotta watch it.
And Keith is rolling his eyes. Keith, you need to stop being so judgy. No one likes it.
Am I judgy? I'm judgy?
You sick?
Judgy.
I am a little judgy.
You're a little judgy.
I am.
A little.
Nobody cares that it's typical.
Sharice, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hello, Sharice.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Pardon my manners.
No. This is podcast stuff. I'm gonna introduce you.
Okay.
And that's how we gonna do. Alana, why you ain't got AirPods?
I've never. Why don't I own some AirPods? How do you know that I don't own AirPods?
Because you ain't got them in right now.
I feel like she had them on the first one, though. Don't you have some?
No,
I actually have never had a reason to buy them.
See?
Do I need to buy them?
No. Good.
We're going to get you a mic. Don't worry about
it. Okay.
She's saying okay like that because this is like the third time I said it. But money goes other places right now.
You don't have to explain to me.
But don't be smiling like that like you said this 5 times already. Because I know I said it 5 times.
Judging you the way you judged me for putting the Erykah Badu song in my story.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's not why I'm judging you.
He judged it because it's typical.
I didn't judge you at all. I'm saying
what's typical?
Because I put it in the story with the head wrap on.
All I did was shake my head.
I know Keith. I don't care what he's saying. I know why he made that face. And because it's the same reason I would make that face.
She won't even let me say why I really made the face.
Okay, so why'd you make the face?
Because she was off social media for like maybe a month and a half. And now she comes back with all the vigor in the world. Like, so you doing all types of stuff on social media. You posting the 41 song.
Oh, that was funny.
Man, I didn't appreciate that. Like, why is this dude out here famous for knowing?
I knew that's why he didn't like it, which is why when he put the mad emojis, I laughed because I don't care about that either.
41, 42, 47.
Man, I wish it was that easy.
I think it's hilarious.
I do too.
Same days of the week.
And I'm mad that I got a favorite version of it. I'm like, man, 41 ain't even all that. 41 ain't even all of that. It's the 20s that I was feeling.
I was feeling like the 105 when he got the 105. I was like, yeah, this is my junk right here, man. My jam.
I need to hear that.
The 105, that's the jam right there. It's like right down the radio.
He went all the way up to 105. He up there yet?
He 105, man. Yeah, jam.
Have you heard the one where he says the days of the week?
Yes, God. Oh, that's the jam too.
Yeah, it's perfect for virtual learning.
Yeah, man, that's the jam.
Yeah.
Listen, man, this is Thank God for the Group Chat, and you are listening to Keith, Alana, T. DeWitt, and we have a special guest today by the name of Sharice Richardson, co-host, host. I was going to say like founder or something, but you are the founder. But, founder of Soul Vibes, a podcast that I am on as well, but we're in hiatus right now because of COVID-19. But you know, but Sharice, she does this. Former Trojan basketball player, a love for the arts, just all around great person. Just, you know what I mean? To me, like, that's the number one stat for me. Shai's a really dope person.
Thank you.
That's high.
Anything else? Am I missing anything? That'd be crazy. Yeah, don't do it because that'd be nasty. Like you missed this accolade. You missed that accolade.
No. It's just that you gave props to Trojan, the Troy team, and that's like the worst team. I couldn't stand that team. But
she played D1 basketball. She played D1 basketball as a point guard.
Let me not say I didn't like the team. I just didn't like my experience there.
She was the prototypical superstar that was mad that the coach wouldn't let her start because she was really good and she didn't get it till she left. I'm like, yo, the coach really liked you. That's why he was hard on you. Everything I would do, he would have an issue with. I'm like, because he liked you. Exactly.
That's how it is in real life too.
Like if you just stuck it out. you be playing for the Sparks right now. If you just stuck it out. You be playing for the Sparks. You be playing with it for the Sparks. Have Omar Epps in the stands cheering you on with the baby.
Sounds familiar.
Oh my God.
All you gotta do is just put your arm down and just do what the coach is telling you to do.
Omar Epps would have been in the crowd holding your baby.
Right.
Oh my God.
One day we're gonna have a real conversation about love and basketball and about how it's about.
Don't do it.
I haven't seen it in so long. I haven't seen it in so long. I remember I schooled y'all on the fact that song is actually a sample, but then
yeah. It's a cover, yeah.
It's a cover, but it was a bad because it's from England and y'all were like, how were we supposed to know that? And I was like, I thought it was common knowledge.
I still feel that way.
You didn't think it was common knowledge.
I still feel that way.
I did. She's like big over there. Kate Bush.
This is
well, Tobias is here. Our resident hip hop head. I would say even more than me. I would definitely. 1000%.
Okay.
I like hip hop. I love music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hip hop falls in line with music. I like it. You know what I mean? But you live, breathe, and eat this stuff.
That's different.
Yes. Yeah. I'm looking up. I'm trying to get the list that I had. Oh yeah. So we started doing this every week. A word of the week. I don't have a word of the week for you today. I have something I feel is a little bit better. Phrase of the week.
Okay.
I just learned this.
I love phrases.
Hand over fist.
I've heard that before, but I never knew what it meant.
I've heard it plenty of times. Old school though.
But what does it mean?
I don't know.
I was just gonna say, I just had to do a reffing class. Like that's when I'm coming back from, and they said it. And I was like, oh, that's for the mechanics, like different mechanics that we have to do. But in your text, I don't understand what it means. So I'm not even going to lie.
So when people say, I'm making money hand over fist.
Mm-hmm. I feel like they say that in Paid in Full.
Yeah. What do you think that means?
I'm trying to think of the context that I've heard it in. I want to say something similar to like, I don't know. Because I have two different ideas. One idea is referencing how hard it is, and the other idea is like living check to check. Are either of those true?
It's like the exact opposite.
Oh, okay.
You're making money rapidly. So hand over fist. So here's my hand, here's my fist, here's my hand, here's my fist.
Oh.
My hand, fist. So it was an old phrase, you know, like Sharice was saying, like the mechanics, but they were like pulling rope. So it came from pulling rope, and you had to pull the rope fast. And so they would say, at first it started off as hand over hand,
right?
And then it became hand over fist. And so when people say they're making money hand over fist, they're saying that they're making money really fast.
That's dope. I'm gonna use that.
Me too.
When I start making money hand over fist.
Right.
I like that. Now that I know what it means.
Dope. Yeah.
I like to know what it means too.
I wanted to, upon further review, I wanted to talk about what the Bible says about divorce. I feel like we still can. I think that we can do it in like a very short way, because what I was telling Tobias is that I want to be responsible.
That's good.
And I don't want to, because when I say upon further review, last week we talked about divorce, or Nasia talked about divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And we gave our thoughts and all of that type of stuff. And I think we alluded to what the Bible says, and we talked about what the Bible says, but I just want to be real specific. So it's not like this thing of like, people thinking that the Bible says something, it really was just us. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't want to speak for God. I want God to speak for himself. So, so does anybody have any thoughts? Like, what is the Bible?
I thought you were gonna like.
I don't want to.
We want to reference scripture.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have the summary of what I know the Bible says about it, but I want to be able to give the exact.
It's in where you looking? It's like I think it's in 2 Corinthians, right? Or first.
It's in more than one place.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We could. Oh, okay. Are you gonna find it quick? If you're not, we can come back to it.
Well, it's kind of long, but
do you got it?
Come back to it. We can come back to it because I'll be able to summarize it better. I think if we come.
What does it say?
1 Corinthians 7. Well, I'm not going to read all this because I'm going to read 10 through 17.
Okay.
The wife should not separate from her husband. But if she does, she should remain unmarried or else be reconciled to her husband, and the husband should not divorce his wife. To the rest, I say that if any brother has a wife who is an unbeliever and she consents to live with him, he should not divorce her. If any woman has a husband who is an unbeliever and he consents to live with her, she should not divorce him. For the unbelieving husband is made holy because of his wife, and the unbelieving wife is made holy because of her husband. Mm. That's one part of it. And there's other scripture that I know speaks to infidelity.
Yeah.
But I have to find that.
Well, I mean, we can summarize it because we pretty much know what it is. There are grounds for divorce if infidelity is involved. Mm-hmm. There are grounds for divorce if like the marriage like really isn't a marriage at all. You know what I mean? Like someone
that a little.
Abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Physical abuse.
Mental abuse.
I would say in many cases, mental abuse, like where, and that's what I mean. Like when a marriage is not a marriage and the person is just being, abused.
I think that ultimately most of the scriptures that surround it come down to is when there is a hardening of the heart. When the person the people in the marriage have decided, or one person has decided that they are aware of what is happening and that they are not changing it. Because I think obviously we've probably all seen someone be in a relationship where infidelity has happened and they've stayed and marriage has prospered post that. But I think we've also seen it where there's been habitual, encounters of that happening, or the abuse is something that someone is enduring, and there's nothing to suggest that there's change or a change of heart or perspective. And so I think that's generally what it's coming down to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, also what wasn't said is I don't necessarily believe that divorce is a sin per se. But I do believe this because the Bible says this, that God hates divorce. Mm-hmm. He hates it. He hates it because it is because marriage is representative of the church and God's love for the church. Moreover, Christ's love for the church. And so when you break that, like, cause he's like, I'm not breaking my bond with y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it would give off this skewed message because he's not breaking his bond with us. You know what I mean? So he hates it because it is a representation of that. He also hates, there's some other things that he would hate a little bit more, inside certain situations.
You did, right? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I just wanted to touch on that, because I don't want anybody feeling how they shouldn't feel And, you know, whether it be a good or bad thing, like, oh yeah, you know, I just, be offended, but be free, you know. The Nas album came out this past week. King's Disease. It seems like Sha has some thoughts on it. T, take it away. Y'all can talk about it. I heard it today.
What did you think of it?
Huh?
What did you
review?
Personally, that was my reaction too. So I think it was good. To me, it reminded me of Jay-Z's 4 for 4, whatever the name of that album is.
First of all, it's 444.
Yeah. 444.
4 for 4 is at Wendy's.
4 for 4. Yeah, so it reminded me of the Wendy's album. And it because it just seemed very mature. It seemed like he knew what he wanted to talk about. It seemed like it wasn't like, okay, this is an album for me to stun on y'all and show what all I got. This was an album to be like, hey, let me speak wealth into my community because, you know, talking about this other stuff now don't really matter. And so then it was like speaking positivity into kings, black queens, and just being like, hey, look, y'all, this is what it is. Let's just like be our best selves. He talked about meditation on there. He talked about he talked about God. I don't know. He talked about stuff that I feel like when you get to that age and you just kind of like, hey man, what's the other stuff even about? Like you listen to these albums and it's all about like you know what it is. It's hip hop. You know, your watch, your chain, your all
whatever
stuff.
is popular and going on and on social media and things like that. Not to cut you off.
Oh no, but I agree. And so to me, it was more so one of those things where it was just kind of like, yeah, I know I can rap. Like I've literally told you guys, like Nas has literally wrote a song backwards that you can follow and it actually makes sense. And he's like, yeah, I've showed you guys I can wrap circles around all this stuff. I wrote Ether, but right now, who cares? And then what I like about it is that Hit Boy produced it, and it wasn't like Hit Boy was like, it's like Hit Boy went in there and was like, I know I'm making a Nas album. It wasn't like, well, I've produced for Drake, so let me give him some Drake beats. It was like, this is for Nas. So it sounded like Nas, and it all fit. And if you like Nas, you'll love it. If you don't like Nas, you probably won't get much from it. So that's where I feel about it is, you know, it is what it was. I thought it was good. I thought it was
good as well.
You did? What was your takeaway?
My take was for people that are into the newer age type of rap, they won't resonate with this. Like it'll be too old school. They'll look at it as, oh, he an old head. That's how they will approach it. But in the climate that we are in and all that we are facing, and the fact that Nas always stays true to who he is when he makes music, I've always admired that about him. Like he can hop on a track, right, and sound like the rest of the track. But he's always going to say something, I feel like, that is always going to make you go, that's Nas. Like, you know what I mean? He never disappoints you in the sense that he's going to stay true to who he is. And I think that's why this album is so dope to me, because I like Nas. I really do. I'm a Jay-Z fan, but I like Nas in the sense that he doesn't hide his emotions. He's still, in so many ways on his album, you can still feel that he's still feeling some type of way about him and Khalees not working.
I heard that.
He still like reminds you, like, I'm not over that. Just in case y'all think I am. Like, I'm still out here single. He speaks on that. I love the song Car 85.
I do too. I was actually listening to that before we.
Seriously, that song speaks on so many different things, and it's just like that's a dope song, and I just like it because like anything I take from Nas, he's not afraid to like express his feelings, and I think that's so dope as a writer that you can like take your words and make a song, and it's like not like I'm hiding anything, I'm bearing it all. Like you can know it all. I don't care. Like this is how I feel. And I always love that about Nas. Always.
I do too. And I want to say, I know this is a Nas review, but I want to give an honorable mention to Vic Mensa because he dropped the album on Friday too. and since we're talking about people who speak on like open emotions, I listened to that, and him delving into like his mental issues was like, to me, I was sitting there like, dang, dude, you could have. Even the name of the song was, I guess I'm too honest, and yeah, he laid it all bare. So I like that type of honesty vibe that we're getting, because the machoism and all of that stuff, it is what it is. But yeah, Nas' album was good. I don't know what I would give it if I had to give it a number, but overall,
like amongst his work,
yeah, or even like if I had to be like, is that a 10? Like, is it a 10 album or is it an 8 or a 7? I feel like I would give it a high rating because of the fact that, like, with everything going on, I feel like I hear so many new artists try hard to be other people, and Nas is Nas, so it's good.
It is a good album.
Based off your review.
Highly suggest you sit down and listen to it. Highly suggest that.
I have to be still to actually listen to it. I can't do it on the go.
Yeah.
I want to sit still and listen to it.
Yeah, you should.
All of that.
You definitely should. It was a smooth listen, and
it was.
I wasn't sitting down for the whole thing because I want to say like the album is like 13, yeah, like 13 songs or something like that. I definitely was doing stuff, but I was very in tune, like nothing that was distracting me from the music. But it was a smooth listen. Like the transitions, in my opinion, were good. And I don't know, I just like the topics he was touching on. I guess because the radio is so repetitive. And it's like, if it's not Roddy Ricch, then it's Drake. If it's not Drake, then it's, I don't even know all these new artists. And I know it makes me so like the baby, little baby. I don't even know the difference, honestly. I know the baby has a nice teeth.
There is a difference. Yeah.
Oh, there's a difference.
So if it's not them, that's like mainly all you hear. And it's just like to hear that one, it reminded me of what rap sounded like when I was coming up. And then two, it has substance. Like it's like a lot of songs are dropping and you're like, what was the point of that? Like, what were you?
That's why you like it.
Because that's what I'm looking for too. So I'm excited to listen for sure.
And y'all, everybody listening, y'all should check out the Posse cut, because that to me was like a throwback for real. I was like,
a song on the album?
Yeah, it's a song on the album where he got like all the old heads, Foxy, AZ, and it was crazy because I wasn't looking at who was on the song. So then, as I was listening, then I was like, "Is that Foxy? Is that AZ?"
Yeah,
it was just kind of like.
Foxy did not come to play.
She did not.
She did not come to play. She did not come to play.
But then she kind of like, went on a tangent about how she took off on a verse. And everybody was like, "Okay, chill." Okay, relax.
Honestly,
let me pat myself on the back for that.
I think
you did good.
I felt like Foxy had something to prove, because the last time she was on an album, which was Nicki Minaj album, that song was not good. I'm so sorry. I love Nicki Minaj. I love Foxy, but that song was not it. I was like, for y'all to be these awesome MCs, it was like, nah. So I felt like she had to come with that type of energy.
Like,
she had to
still do
just
it.
to remind us, like, no, I'm really good at this. Like that was for play. Like that song was not good. I was like, wow. Because when I seen the track list, I was like, Foxy and Nicki, yes. And then when I heard the song, I was like, dang, that was not good. Like, wow, I didn't like that.
That's always disappointing.
She really showed out, and I was like, yeah, that's something that she's gonna walk away from, and people are gonna give her roses because she went on. Like she definitely killed that.
Yeah, man. Nas fans, check it out. For real.
Oh, Jay-Z fans, check it out. I'm telling you, you're gonna like that. Like you're gonna like that.
Yeah, they will. Like,
it's
okay,
like
so
hip-hop.
I'm glad you said that, because there's a friend of mine who's a Jay-Z fan who like hates everything Nas does, and for some reason when I heard this album, I literally was thinking like, even he has to. I literally thought that. I was like, even he has to appreciate this. I thought that. So yeah, even Jay-Z fans.
Yeah, they're both at dope places in their lives, in my opinion.
Man, they ain't competing. They ain't competing with nobody.
Right, they're not competing.
They just doing them.
Whether it sells or not, they're just putting out good bodies of work. They could care less about the money, and it's some good music coming from that. So that's fire.
I feel like Keith want to say something.
Yeah.
Who's not competing?
So I feel like they're like I feel like they're basically just like
Who?
you know how like a lot of these people are like.
Well, to answer your question, Jay-Z and Nas.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Jay-Z
No
and
problem.
Nas. Oh yeah, they're not competing. What I'm saying is
Jay-Z is definitely competing with Nas.
I feel like
No way.
No, what I'm saying is like right now they're in a place where they're like, yeah, I'm gonna kill this song or whatever. But you know how these people are like, I gotta be better than so and so, and I gotta be better than so and so. They're at a place where they're just like, hey man, I'm gonna do me, and whatever he's doing over there, that's what he's doing. And I cheer for him. He cheered for me. If not, it is what it is. And I feel like that's what I mean by they're not competing with each other. They're not like, I mean, in hip hop maybe, but like as people, they're not. And I feel like it reflects in their music. I feel like Keith don't agree.
I agree
That's how
with
I
you.
feel though. Yeah.
I agree with you.
Keith, please share why you think he is competing.
Jay-Z is definitely competing with Nas. Nas drops a project. Jay-Z drops a project the day after. This is a fact. People have.
So where's Jay's project?
Nas, I'm going to answer. Nas released Ultra Black right after Jay-Z and Pharrell dropped the song.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they did that. I haven't even heard that song. Is that song?
Between
Is that song good?
It's all right.
Oh, so Ultra Black is better.
I haven't heard it. Alana, what you say?
I will pick Ultra Black.
Said, do you have a preference, Nas or Jay-Z?
I never
easy. I mean, like I prefer Jay-Z because Jay-Z goes down smoother for me. But if I really want to hear, like, cause like you guys were saying that the Nas album was a smooth listen, like y'all said. I think Nas and Hit Boy, like they need to collaborate more.
Yeah.
Because this album was 13 songs, which I think isn't typical of a Nas album. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's typical. And it was short. It was like 30 minutes. I listened to the whole thing on my way to work today. I'm like, man, it's over already, but it was smooth.
That's a good feeling too.
Nas has a cadence that flows well over a lot of tracks. I mean, it's, a Nas track when you hear a Nas track, but even these ones, Hit Boy really did an amazing job interpolating his and incorporating his style with Nas's. It was still Nas, but it was like a modern day Nas. It felt like a more condensed and better Life is Good.
Oh yeah, okay.
I love that album.
I do too. That's why I was like, yeah, okay.
That's a goodie.
It gave you the feeling of Life is Good without the skips.
That's
So I would say this album, I would prefer Nas over Jay-Z to answer your question.
Yeah.
But we were in Foxy, and the posse cut was The Firm. So it was AZ, Foxy Brown, and Nas. That's The Firm, and I think other people might be in The Firm, but I know it's those three people. AZ sounds amazing. It made me want to go listen to more AZ again.
AZ is dope.
AZ was one of the first rappers I heard, and I said, "That's a rapper." But I'm too young to understand how good he is. I literally was 8 years old. Like, he is a rapper. I'm not old enough to really understand it.
You had an epiphany at 8.
Yeah, I would know. I'm like, certain people are really good, but when I get older, I'm gonna know what they talking about. And I remember the day that it happened. I don't remember the day that it was, but I remember the day like when things clicked. Like, and what rap was all about to me. I was 15, and I heard an old track from Jadakiss was on the track, and he said,
I was finna try to do the laugh, and then I changed my mind.
Yeah, please
I'm glad
don't.
I did. I'm glad I did. I was like, no, let me not do that.
And he said, "I sneeze on tracks and bless you."
I remember that.
And then
line
like something switched in my brain, and like that's when everything started connecting for me. I said, "Oh, I have to listen to music, to this type of music, this way."
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of music and listening to music, I'm about to try to make a transition right here on the fly. Speaking of listening to people differently or not listening to people at all, Megan Thee Stallion was shot by Tory Lane. Allegedly.
Stop it. I don't know why I'm laughing. Oh my God. It's not funny. Go ahead.
Oh, you ain't like the way I transitioned?
It was horrible, Keith. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was
I was like, what? I was like, what kind of transition is this?
I didn't know what was coming. I didn't know what was coming next, and then that's why I was smiling. And then it was like you said what you said. I was like, oh,
like we were anticipating something else. Like, more good music to listen to.
Nope.
Like, this Debbie Downer. All right,
yeah, absolutely. So, Megan Thee Stallion. Huh? You what?
I knew it was coming. I followed the bulletin.
Oh,
shit. Okay. All right. Well, now I see what I got to do going forward. And you know how churchy she is. She called it a bulletin.
When they pass out when you walk in.
Yeah.
A program.
Program. Church bulletin.
So I followed the bulletin.
I feel like you call it bulletin in your head though, Keith. So I don't know.
I didn't, and I don't.
It probably doesn't.
He said,
this
"What?"
is a real life confession right now. The little thing that they used to pass out at church that would give you the program.
The program.
I used to literally only ask for one, so just in case if I was falling asleep in church, it looked like I was reading. That's bad. That's a fact. Oh my God!
No, my mom.
I was horrible, man.
Your mom did what?
I don't know.
She goes to sleep in church. She doesn't have any shame about it. She says if you're tired, you should take a nap.
Church is the best place to sleep because
I don't know what it is.
No, if you fall asleep, all you have to do is act like you was praying. You ain't gotta read.
If you get on your knees and face the pew, that's next level.
Yes, that'd be me. I used to do it all. That was my move.
Now you got some real sleep. That's
I'd be up late at night watching Boy Meets World, watching no, not Boy Meets World. All that.
Nick at Night.
Yeah. When you a kid, that's late. When you a kid, nine was late.
Nick at Night.
Yeah, I'll be up trying to watch all is that and Keenan, all is that, all that and Keenan and Kev.
Super proper. All is that.
And Kablam and all of that.
Yeah, Kablam. That was a good
I feel like, what was Kablam? I can't remember that.
It was the dumbest show ever. It was just
Weren't they made out of clay?
No, they were action figures. They were toys.
Yeah.
Kablam.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that show now.
That show's terrible.
Terrible,
Nobody
man.
stayed up to watch that except Keith.
No, not on purpose.
It just came on.
Yeah.
It came. Yeah, it did. After all the good stuff, that would just randomly come on, and you just kept watching. Like, I'm gonna fall asleep anyway. Like, that's literally what you'll say.
I had mad segues in there, but none of them were appropriate. So I'll just get to the chase.
Which
Tory
is
Lanez.
a segue in a way because apparently she was chased.
And that's the thing. I don't want to make jokes. I don't want to make jokes about this.
That's why I said I'm not proud.
That's why I said I don't want to do them.
That's why I
don't want to joke about.
I was like, yeah, I'm not proud of that one. I'm sorry. Hey, Lon, cut that out.
So,
Tory Lanez.
Megan Thee Stallion. I guess she was pressured because people were, commenting and saying things, and then, she felt like she had to speak out about it. But she came out and said, she was like, y'all was asking me to say who shot me, Tory shot me. Because, apparently he was on different blogs or had his publicists on different blogs saying things that she didn't agree with, changing her narrative of the story or what she feels happened. And so she says that she shot him.
He shot her.
He shot her.
He shot her.
Yeah.
It's 11. Now, yes.
I had happened to, and this is so random, I never ever catch this actual time when the celebrity is live. And I caught this one. I happened to just be on social media, well, Instagram, and it goes the Stallion live. So I'm like, oh, clicked it. I was like, okay, what's she doing? And first I said, okay, this is serious. One, she's dressed. I was like, okay. Then she's sitting up like this. Like, yeah, come on in. Like, yup, everybody come on in. So I'm like, oh, what's about to happen? And then her whole tone, Meg has a bubbly personality. Her whole tone was serious. The way she was looking into the camera, the look of disgust on her face. It was just like one of those things like, it makes you reflect on social media a little deeper than what you honestly should, because the stuff she was basically saying, I'm disgusted about how people think this is funny. Number one, like she was like, the fact that
I don't think it's funny. I don't. I've been posting stuff on her side. I don't think it's funny.
Right.
Yeah, but she was like pretty much disgusted as people's positions, the memes, and then she was like, and then you put on top of that the lies. She was like, she was like, I'm gonna just flat out come out and say it. Tory shot me, point blank, period. Like, that's what happened. And she was like, the reason why I didn't come out right away and say he shot me is because in the heat of the moment, you got to look at the position we were all in. You got 4 Black people in an SUV with a gun. She was like, cops pull up, you tell them we have a gun. That puts us in a position to be harmed. She was like, it's bad enough I'm already hit. Like, so now I'm putting us all in a position to all get shot up possibly because of the climate we're in with police and African Americans right now. So, and that's when everybody was like, oh, like, I didn't think about it like that. And I was like, well, no one's going to think about it like that because we wasn't there. We wouldn't know to like think like, oh, it happened. And then the cops came. And the reason why you ain't say nothing is because you were worried that y'all would be put in great harm. So in my opinion, I think she went about this right. A lot of people are saying that this is attention grab. This is not about wanting attention. This is clearing her name. She doesn't want nobody to take the situation for a joke, number one, because people were, because everybody was keeping silent. I don't know about these blogs that she's speaking on or whatever. I don't have a clue. I didn't hear anything on Tory's end. Tory, like, page is non-existent. Like, he doesn't post nothing. She's claiming that his friends were speaking about it and basically playing the part that, making it seem like Meg did something to him that made this whole thing happen. I
have seen those posts.
What could she have done to get shot?
That's what I said.
You can do anything to get shot. It don't justify what it don't justify nothing. So she obviously did something to trigger him, no pun intended, but she obviously did something to trigger this man. Not making any of it right. None of it is right. But yeah.
Just and that's what you leave it, because that's it. Because it still doesn't matter what comes out.
None of it matter. It don't matter what she did.
Shooting her.
Nothing.
Exactly. And so what I was saying, I don't know what happened, but what I was saying was, I hate the fact that everybody's posting this stuff saying she's a snitch. And
first of all,
that's because they don't know what a snitch really is.
I was just about to say that.
That's been annoying the crap out of me. And
first of all, I'm the one that got shot.
Right.
I'm the one that got shot. I have the right to say, you know what I mean? I have the right to want justice. And now is not the time.
It's not.
Now is not the time to be talking about snitching and not snitching. I'm not saying you, T. I'm saying people. I mean, obviously, because you mad at it too. Yeah, for calling someone a snitch. You know what I mean? I'm like, fam, we trying to get justice for Breonna Taylor.
Right.
For a lot of people.
Exactly. And so that whole thing, when I've seen people like I shared a post that broke down how she's not a snitch, and then the simple fact that people are calling her one instead of like, you know, protecting our Black women, or, you know, like that's a form of abuse and all that. And a woman commented and was like, nah, she is a snitch. And that, for some reason, I was just like, what? I was like, why? Or like, in that whole thing, like, and I usually try to convey my arguments like in a like way where I'm just like, no, this is why, like, read the post again, and this is why. But I blatantly was like, yo, that's stupid. Like, I like commented and was just like, that's stupid. And I didn't even know what else to say, because I was just like,
the issue also just is like, statistically, Black women report domestic or any form of abuse the least. And so a lot of that is because of our culture and what we understand to be appropriate or right in defense of or protection of Black men. And there is an innate protection of Black men and Black women, but that does not lean into us not protecting ourselves. Mm. That's not what that means. And I think that what has to be recognized is when you're doing something like calling someone a snitch who's been shot, is perpetuating the idea that if someone is abused, they also should not say anything, because they are then telling on that Black man or putting that Black man in that position. It's completely skipping the part of the story where he put himself in that position.
Hello.
Because having legal repercussions for things that are illegal should be a thought that you have when you decide to do something illegal. So
Absolutely.
You do not skip over your behavior and your choice and go to the reason why it became known. You know what I mean? So I think that there's a lack. The people who are calling her a snitch are clearly lacking the conviction to hold Tory accountable.
Amen. There it is. Accountability.
Exactly.
There it is.
Exactly.
Y'all not holding Tory accountable.
And that's where it should stop. He shot her, and then it's period. And I don't care what he did or said.
Exactly.
At all. Don't matter.
So yeah, you said everything that's basically how I feel.
When it comes down to it, you can't be no snitch when you're the one just clearing the air.
I guess for me,
you know what I mean?
It's so bothersome to me too. Somebody posted on my comment, and not to go to a really dark place, but somebody posted on my comment, and they were like, well, what if it's a kid and he's being molested or abused at home and he seeks for help? Is he being a snitch? And to me, I'm just thinking like, y'all people who are sitting here calling her that, this is the type of stuff that you're like pushing for, because you're like, oh no, we, don't talk to, I don't know, but it's just kind of to the point where it's like, you're so caught up in this mindset that people who really need help, because, we hate that the cops are doing all this stuff to Black people, and, we want justice for Breonna. But at the same time, when people are seriously being harmed and going through stuff, you should be able to go seek help, man.
And it's beyond us worrying about the police. I think historically, Black people can tend sometimes to have a loyalty to things that don't deserve our loyalty. And I think that a lot of it is ideals. Some of the ideals that have just been passed down that we don't have explanation for, but we just do them because we do them. And one of them is the whole keep our business in our house. Mm-hmm. There have been a numerous amount of children molested by family members, women abused, men abused, just a bunch of different things that needed to be brought to the forefront and wasn't under the pretense of that's not their business. And so I think that it's a whole mission that needs to be set out to debunk these ideologies, that we don't need to speak up about stuff because that's between us. Exactly. And it's like, well, when it gets out of control between us, then someone else does need to intervene. Because if anything of in the nature of abuse or something like this where the harm is potentially fatal is happening, that is a reason for someone else to intervene. And we're loyal to these ideas with nothing to show for it except trauma.
And it's suffocating. It's suffocating because you feel like you can't talk to anybody.
And paralyzing. Yes, it is.
So that's another thing that's like a tradition that we feel like, oh, Black people don't go to therapy.
That's the whole thing about keeping things between the family. You keep it, you deal with it.
It's therapy saved my life. So
it saved a lot of lives. So
yeah. Where keep go?
Is Tory Lanez career over?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was whack to begin with, if we're being honest.
He was a cornball. His music wasn't terrible though.
Okay. Kalani take him off of that song.
His music was not terrible.
Sis, help me understand.
He's corny.
His music wasn't terrible.
His music was not terrible.
It wasn't terrible.
Not into it. Like the auto-tune, the album that you just doing a bunch of remakes that were fire. I was like, that's not creative to me. Anybody in my opinion can do that.
You called the remakes fire.
No.
I'm saying.
You just called
when did I?
She said the original song was fire.
The original songs were fire. Your remakes were horrible. I literally stopped listening to them and went back and was like, no, I just want to listen to these original tracks because you ruined them, in my opinion.
I never thought that Tory was a whack artist, but I have always thought he was corny. But I wasn't a Tory Lanez fan, so I don't care that he's corny.
I never had an opinion of him, honestly. That's just what it is. If he came on the radio, I'd just be like, okay.
Yeah, I have one song of his.
I just was like, can we make a song that's original? Like, can you give me a true original song and it actually chart? And I don't want to hear a lyric ever. Like, I want them to be 110% your own lyrics, like nothing summarized, nothing referenced. I just want your music. That's it. Can he do that? I don't think so.
I don't know. I know. I heard one project where my homie was like, "Yo, this project fire," and I do admit I kept skipping. I was like,
It was only the last one for me. It wasn't that I thought the album was so amazing, because like I said, I only have one song from it, so it clearly wasn't amazing, but I don't think his music was terrible.
Yeah, I never thought it was terrible. Like, that's like, I've never been like, Keith said I was a hip hop head. Well, I guess I am, but I've never been one of those people that's just like, I hate this, unless it's just like god awful. But I always usually just be like, I guess it's not for me. That's always how I am.
I'm not.
And so
I don't hate anything. I could just do without.
Yeah. and so then Tory Lanez was always one of those people where I was just like, when Kalani said she was gonna take him off that song, I was like, well, good for her, because I won't miss the verse. I won't miss it.
Right. Music is objectively bad all the time. I don't feel that way. I don't think that I leave a lot of like, oh, it's not for me. I say that I think people's music is bad all the time.
Oh, I mean, no, I mean, unless it's awful. Like, there's like,
regular bad.
Like if the baby came on the radio, I would just be like, okay, cool. But then, like, I don't know. It's like unless it's just god awful, that's when I'm just like, this is bad. But I don't know. I think I'm subjective these days, because I feel like there was a point in time where I felt like I was just hating everything, and I didn't want to be like Joe Budden, man. I feel like I was just hating everything, so I just kind of stopped saying I hate stuff so much.
Joe's honest.
Yeah, he is. But I feel like at some point I just started feeling like I was just angry all the time, and I was like, "What am I?"
Oh
angry
no,
at? That's like you get to a point where you're like, "What am I angry at? This person is not doing nothing to me." Like they, and then I realized that's my problem. If I'm angry about how bad this song is, that's Tobias's problem.
No, it's not.
I feel like it is, because then
I mean, yeah, it's your problem, but it's not your fault.
It's not my fault. Yeah, and then so you gotta, but up here sometimes it's hard to distinguish the two.
Right. That's why I don't want to get into that. But yes, when you don't like something for a reason. And I think I think certain people are more equipped and more qualified to speak on certain things than other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think when certain people have opinions about something, they should be adhered to, not necessarily adhered to, but they should be you know, it should be given attention. You know what I mean? So like so if someone is saying that something is trash, you got to look at the source of who's saying what is trash.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? So I don't always think that it's like, well, you know, this is art and I shouldn't judge it. I'm like, no, because it's art, I'm allowed to talk about it and judge it. Well, now, what like you can't say is that it's not art. It is art.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It is art. We might not like the art, but it is art. And so, and that's the art that they choose to make. Now, it's art when the artist says that it's art.
An original art.
Yeah,
okay.
You got
Andy Warhol, go off.
But that's the thing, right? That's the oh wow. Wow, how did Andy Warhol catch a stray like that? That's crazy.
With his pop art?
I mean, yeah.
Come on. A lot of stuff. Come on.
Like, Sharice went to Savannah College of Art and Design after Troy.
Women of Troy. Okay.
Yeah. So I know she took some art history classes just like me.
So
I want to say this about Tory Lanez. I'm not surprised by any of this. And I'm also not surprised that this didn't happen sooner. Something like
him shooting people in the foot or
him doing something
preposterous.
So put him in this predicament.
Him doing some BAN stuff.
Now you talking about come on
and
now.
So this was months ago. I was in you know how you got your little group chats with your friends. Hence the name of this podcast. And you know, I was talking to my friends. And I was saying Tory Lanez needs to go home. And I knew who I was saying it to, but you know, I try not to harp on it too much because I know a couple of people in our group chat aren't originally from the States. So I didn't want them to feel like I think ill of immigrants or, you know, people that come over here on visas or green cards or anything like that. Not at all. My thing was Tory Lanez has become too comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with being comfortable, but there's something wrong with being too comfortable to the point where, you know, there's something as being too comfortable. I'm like, I don't know. I think something bad is about to happen. He needs to go home. I meant it like this because he was speaking on Black Lives Matter, right? Fine, speak on Black Lives Matter. You're a Black life. Your Black Life Matters, right? But he's from Canada and people forget that. So he was telling us what Americans should do and this, that, and the third, and we should do this and how we should do this and this, that, and the third. I'm like, fam, you're not from here. So there's, you know, I mean, so thank you, but there's certain things that you can't speak on because you're not from here. I don't care if it borders America. You're not from here. Your struggles are not like ours growing up. You don't know certain things. You're not from the same hoods that we're from. You're from Toronto. You're from Toronto. And he was getting too comfortable. And he would speak on this. He would speak on that. He'd be on this track with this rapper. He'd be, you know, and I'm like, when you get in those spaces, you start thinking, not that it becomes normal to you, but you start thinking that these people are regular people, right? And you start thinking that you can do the things that they do and be the way that they are. I'm like, you can associate with these people, but you're not these people. Your father is a pastor.
Did not know that.
Fun fact.
I didn't
know that.
I know someone who knows him and knows his father. His name is Daystar something. You know what I mean? And not to speak on his mom passed as earlier, and I think that's a well-known fact. But I'm like, and you know, he would always talk about how he's supposed to be this person and God was going to make him choose and he was going to change the world. And that's why his father named him Daystar and all of this type of stuff. Right. Your name is Daystar and you go by Tory Lanez. I'm like, you should have chose Daystar. But anyway,
Sounds more like a famous person name.
Daystar sounds like a dope name. I was trying not to crack a joke when you said you knew his people because I don't
know his people, but I know someone that knows him and knows his father. And they were surprised that they heard him on the radio one day, and they was like, "That's Daystar."
They called him by his name. Okay.
I mean, yeah, they didn't know who Tory was.
Where does Tory come from?
I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Wow, I would have kept Daystar. Like what?
I was saying he needs to go home. He's become too comfortable. He started the show on Instagram with the whatever you call it, the quarantine radio. And then he got kicked off of Instagram because things were happening that breached Instagram protocol and policy. And then they brought it back on. And then the Instagram owner or whatever, he vouched for him or something like that. And I'm like, he's getting bigger than what he can handle.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to go home. And then, boom.
Yeah.
He home now.
You're dating the most famous woman in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all think that type of stuff didn't factor in, it did.
Mm-hmm.
It did. All of that factored in to that decision that he made. Drunk, high, whatever it was, I don't care.
Do you think he was jealous of her?
Absolutely.
I don't know what the argument was. This was before the song was said to be.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. I don't think that he was jealous of her per se.
Listen,
I think
it don't matter. It don't matter, Keith. Like, it doesn't matter when in the heat of the moment, the male ego. Like, it don't matter. She got out the car. Her getting out the car alone set him off.
Yes.
Who are you to walk away from me?
I'm saying I don't think he was jealous. But
all of that plays a part, Keith. If you're secure in your manhood and the whole nine, if anything, if you don't like the fact that she's getting out the car and walking away, you're going to get out and follow her. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing? Like,
I'm saying I don't think that jealousy about her stardom was the triggering thing. I think she said something.
But my point, why get that upset? I got money, you got money. Okay, if that's how you feel, go about your business.
We all agree. We all agree that it's crazy. We all agree that it shouldn't have happened. We all agree that under no circumstances should it have happened. I'm saying I don't think it was jealousy that triggered it. I think she hit a nerve when they were all in the car arguing. She said that they were arguing. And then I'm pretty sure she said something. He asked, did we think that he was jealous of her? I'm like, not necessarily. I think because they were dating, she knew what to say.
I don't think that. I think he's jealous because I think a part of him got with her because of her fame and who she is.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be able to walk around and say, "Oh, Meg Thee Stallion's my girl," at who she is and all
what a yucky combo
she's been. Me personally, I don't see it. I'm like, what? Like he's like, I don't see it. Like, that doesn't work for me. But it's not for me to appreciate. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I really do think he is jealous of her, and I think that all plays a part. Sometimes it's better to join what you lack. And I think he looked at her like, yeah, she's gonna she's gonna have longevity. I don't think Tory Lanez.
He's like, I can only remix so many songs.
But so many. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, when you see that a chick that really can rap, she can really rap. This got a mean flow. She can rap. Like, Tory, honestly, if y'all could do a song together, who do you think people are gonna listen for?
Who wrote in this? Who wrote in the note?
I don't have it.
I didn't write in it.
Must have been long. It must have been long. You wrote in it. No.
It's underneath my part.
There's more things here. Okay, cool. Yeah.
And who wrote the bulletin?
I honestly don't know. If
I think it's some jealousy in there. And when it all unfolds, we'll see.
If 6ix9ine's career isn't over, I don't know how Tory Lanez career is going to be.
I think this is different. I think this is different.
Yeah. Both of them are kind of corny.
I thought that was different.
Bro,
stranger things have happened.
I think 6ix9ine has struck the nerve of certain people. There are a lot of like high profile celebrities who have spoken out about not wanting to work with or associate with him anymore. So to an extent, his career has been affected. But I think what Tory did affected like not just like the celebrity world, but I think that it bled into like something that's important to us as a culture, which is Black women. Mm-hmm. And so then it's like, no, now we're mad for multiple reasons.
Okay.
We're not just mad because you threatened her, you may have scared her in a moment of anger, you shot her. And I think that though what Tekashi 6ix9ine did could have affected someone's literal life, like I guess through a series of events could have gotten to that point. But I think Tory's immediate action could have easily been fatal. And so it's like, all right, this right here is kind of like a nip in the bud. It's kind of like an open and shut case. There's no question that was beyond out of hand. And And then I think his lack of response and then the whack responses from his team has even added insult to injury. So it's like, you're not gonna say nothing. You got something to say about everything. Tory was a very outgoing celebrity. And it's like, you don't have anything to say to answer for the fact that you shot her. You're just letting people make assumptions and then you're going to make her have to answer for it.
Yeah, that's really like, yeah. And I did see those posts about what she did and all this stuff. So, yeah, the fact that she had to finally speak up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it will feel like to have everything going right. And then one day something like that horrible will happen, and then you get on the new, you get online, and then people are just cracking jokes. Even the joke I made earlier, that's me though. My reaction to stuff is especially if I get like, if it gets serious, I don't know, I have to break the tension. But overall, I can only imagine like to just get online and then see that and then be like, well, dang, he ain't like he's not saying nothing, but his people are down in me. And then the other reaction of you speaking up, and then the cornballs who are saying, oh, you snitching. It's like, yo, man, I just wanted to make music.
Right. That's what it comes back to. And to touch on that 6ix9ine comparison real quick. 6ix9ine is a big star within himself, right? Because he's a false image. I don't care what nobody say. People love to follow, like younger kids anyway, love to follow just outrageous, false impersonation. All 6ix9ine is, he's everything. You know, the kids on social media, like they make the fake pages, and they never really post any real pictures of themselves, but they talk the most shit. That is 6ix9ine. He talks all the shit, and it's a face to it.
He's a
troll.
Yeah, he's a troll.
He's a troll, and they love it. So, like, to think anything more of him outside of that, stop playing. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you can go. Go ahead. It's fine.
Okay, so this is a whole separate Tobias beef, but I feel like, first of all, I feel like 50 Cent is kind of like, because of how he was backing 6ix9ine until all that stuff happened. And then the first joke, like, I didn't see anybody cracking jokes at her, but the first joke I did see about Megan Thee Stallion was from 50 Cent. And so then it's kind of like, I don't know, man, like all the stuff he be doing, everybody's like, watch this and do this. And part of me be like, man, 50's a cornball too. But that's been my opinion for a long time.
Well,
50 Cent knows he's a troll.
Well, yeah,
he's
what he's doing. 50 Cent is much smarter. I don't even think he tries to pretend he's not smart. I think that he does everything that he does with intention and purpose. And I think you can see the attention that he has been able to foster through his behavior in like his business. And that's why he does it. Because, I mean, obviously we didn't have Instagram and all that when 50 Cent was a rapper, or like on top as a rapper, Get Rich Die Trying time. Like, but I don't think that even at that point, his personality came across as this. And I don't think he's faking, but I think that he is emphasizing that part of who he is so that he can continue to profit off of what it does for his attention and his businesses.
But if you go back and listen to old interviews of 50 Cent, he showed signs of being this person. He did. Like,
he's emphasizing that.
Yeah,
part.
like when he go on radio stations, and stuff, he said little smart stuff. Like he did. It's just that now Instagram allows you to be this person 24/7. You don't have to wait for an interview, you know, or someone to ask you a question to have a smart remark to. If you just see someone want to speak on it, you could just go ahead and do it. You have the platform. So it's like, so now it's like, if it's marketable and it's going to get me money and all of that, oh yeah, I could put on a show for you to keep these checks coming in. Absolutely. I sure can. And I think 50 is all about $1. So if that means Instagram is going to pay me this much for dragging a conversation about this, absolutely. I'm on it. I'll do it. I know how to get the people engaged. And I think a lot of celebrities and a lot of these Instagram personalities, that's what they thrive off of.
I want to shoot 50 some bail, because as you know, as we've just stated that yes, he is a troll, and he knows that he is, and he has been since the inception of his career. This is the first time that he has apologized.
Yeah.
Yes.
He apologized.
I didn't know he apologized.
He apologized.
He didn't think it was real.
He didn't know it was real.
Oh. Okay, you apologize.
Another thing that is real, Kamala Harris is Joe Biden's running mate for the 2020 election. Our resident political science aficionado is here to tell us more about what's going on.
Kamala, I think we all know that it's kind of like we're choosing I would say better than what we had with Hillary and Trump when people were saying we're choosing between the best of two evils. There actually is light, I think, in my opinion, at the end of the Kamala tunnel and Biden tunnel. I think that when she was first introduced to us, one of the things that made people uneasy about her was that she didn't stand firm in certain ways that people really wanted her to. Like, you know, some politicians come forth and their stance is very clear. She had some moments where she could seem fake because she wasn't always that clear. And I think that also her political run was a little lackluster. It was a little like cavalier. And it was like, you don't seem to be trying very hard. Like as though you assume you have our vote because you are a Black woman, but we don't actually know what you stand for. And so we want to trust you for more than just that. But I think that there are some stances that she has taken that really touch on some of the more important political issues. And I also think on the other side of that there are clear questions and worries people have that date back to when she first started her political run and she was district attorney in California. And I think, you know, there's things to consider, like, you know, her time or her past with like convicting Black men or minorities. That's a real concern. Her unclear stance on certain topics is a real concern. I think some of the things though that I think are worth acknowledging about her or considering when voting is that, you know, she does bring a new generational view to the Biden presidency. Biden is significantly older than her. She is only 55, which is actually pretty young to even be in this race.
She's 55?
Mm-hmm. She's 55. And so she's
How
not
old. Did you
old.
think she was?
You thought she was way older than that?
Unfortunately.
But she's
I'm
not
sorry.
old at all. She's not old at all. She comes from a different background than Biden. So the hope is obviously that she can diversify his perspective. The hope is that the relationship that they have fostered so far will be one where he actually does glean from her and that she is true to what she's from and she is true to the topics that actually affect the people that are like her. You know, in my opinion, she has some stances that I agree with, like her views on gun laws are important to me. I wrote down some other ones that I was researching when I was giving this. Her ideas about capital punishment, the death penalty, income inequality. As a Black woman, I think she's definitely going to vote in favor of that. Eliminating past charges of people who have been given time for marijuana charges, things like that. Which these things start to touch into like how this affects our day-to-day people that we know can't get jobs because they have a marijuana charge when marijuana is legal in a lot of states, things like that. So there's definitely pros and cons with Kamala. I would just suggest that everybody do the research, decide what topics are important to you, see what she feels about that and see what Biden feels about that, because you also have to remember that she's running as vice president. And if their views are directly contradicting, you remember that he's going to be the president. And so, yeah, that's what I got to say about Miss Kamala Harris.
I think he's a Pinocchio that knows he needs a Geppetto.
Yeah, of course.
So I think she's
gonna be pulling all the strings.
Yes. And I think he wants her to.
I think in certain ways.
I think he's like, I don't want to be a real boy. Yeah.
Oh, Kamala, be the president in the back. But I think that in certain ways, yes. With issues that affect our community, with issues that affect women, with issues that affect minorities, period, not just the Black community, he's for sure going to let her take the lead. For sure.
And if you watch the interview that they just did on, I don't know what channel that was, but I was watching it, and she was taking the lead a lot. So it was very easy to sit here and see who's going to really be the voice and who's going to be the puppet. Like, it was clear as day. And I said, in my opinion, I don't think the world is ready for a female president. I think having a Black one was enough. And they were like, okay, y'all got that. That's it. So I think that's as close as it's going to get for right now. So that's why I kind of felt like she's playing the role. That's why she dropped early, because I think it was already worked out that it's just best for you to be a vice president to a candidate that will actually make the voting polls, and it's Joe Biden. So
this is seemingly her second win, because like I said, her first run was just was lackluster. It just was. There were too many topics and too many times that I watched interviews with her where she was talking in circles, and I pick up on that fast and I check out. I'm like, you're not being, to me, politicians already, you assume lack integrity, and you're not being even the slightest bit of trustworthy because you're not getting straight to it. And your questions are straight to it. Like, I watch a lot of Angela Rye's interviews because I love her, and she's straight to it. If you can't answer her question straightforward, it's you. Like, you don't want to. And so I was noticing that with Kamala, and I think that she has a lot to prove, and people should look at it that way. I don't want anybody, I would hope that no one would be like, well, she's Black and she's a woman, and that's enough. Like, I want people to require her to prove better than she did the first time, because she did it halfway the first time. She really did. She did not put her best foot forward. She did not try her hardest. And this time, for me, she really is going to have to prove it.
I'm with you.
Word.
When we come back, Monica and Brandy have something to prove on the newest edition of Versus. Sharice is a huge Monica fan. Alana is a huge Brandy fan. Tobias likes music. And I'm going to be quiet. And I'm excited. More when we come back on the Steve Harvey Show.
And that was a good transition. Good transition.
I'll be working on them. I'll be thinking. We'll be right back.
We should get her to do our jingle.
You should get her to do our jingle. You got all the equipment.
You the producer.
I am. Yeah.
We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. And as promised, we're going to be talking about Brandy versus Monica. this podcast is known at this point for being Brandy stans. I think we're safe in saying that.
Y'all really are. Y'all love that girl.
And I've met Monica, and still, I'm like,
let me finish.
Y'all love y'all some Brandy, boy.
So this much anticipated battle, I think it was like the first anticipated battle that my friend actually brought it to my attention. She was like, "This is the one that everyone was waiting for." Monica had turned it down. Brandy was like, "I'm ready," but Mon doesn't want to do it, and so
Monica had turned it down at first.
Yes,
yeah, Monica
she
said
did,
she
and I was very upset with her.
Monica was Monica was also in a heated debate. She was in another battle with Master P not too long ago. She was like, "Worry about freeing your brother, don't worry about me." And that's a bad paraphrase, but that's essentially it. But on a lighter note, are we excited about this and why?
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
This is about to like bring back our childhood. Brandy and Monica literally is the epitome, in my opinion, of the late 90s. Every little girl wanted to look like them. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. I rock braids because of Brandy. Like, Brandy made braids cool.
Yeah, she did.
You know what I mean? She made, in my opinion, she made braids acceptable. It was like, you know, this is normal. Stop looking at us when we come to school and pulling us out of class to show off our braids. This is normal. Mm-hmm. I remember in the first grade, someone pulling me out of class because I had a braid updo for picture day. I literally went to 3 different classes to show teachers my hair. I'm like, what's the big deal? And I think, like, with the show,
you were pulled out of class so that they could show you off.
So they could show me off.
And this was definitely a black teacher.
Yes, it was. And it was just one of those things. Like, what's the big deal? Like, I'm in my head, like this young girl. Like, what are we looking at? Like my hair, like because I got braids going up into a do. Like, you know, and I think once Brandy did it, it was like, oh, you know, she did the different styles, you know, for the most part, she rocked them in cute little buns and stuff. And I was just like, I think Brandy was the poster child for young African-American females. And I think the fact that Monica was the complete opposite, it was kind of like, damn, this is going to be hard to put you up against someone who's following a protocol and you're going against it, you know? And I think that's what kind of set the tone from Brandy and Monica. Like, Brandy, good girl, Monica, rebel. And I feel like it's been like that for years and years and years. And it was just like, beyond the music, who do you rock with? Because they have completely different personalities, in my opinion.
I agree. I am obviously, as far as music goes, it's Brandy for me. And it's been that since I was literally in elementary school. But I will say I like Monica. I've always liked Monica. I don't think that rival existed for me beyond the song "The Boy Is Mine" and singing it with my friends, being like, "Well, I'm Brandy." Beyond that, it was always that I like both of them. I think for me, it's always Brandy because of vocals. Her vocal ability for me supersedes Monica's by far. But I appreciate both of their catalogs. And I think that even when I was presented with this verses, because many people sent it to me, I was like, you know what? My first reaction was like, I think if there's a win, just based off who I know the culture leans more into, and based off of the fact that I know that Brandy's music post her first 2 albums started to get a little more personal for her, and it wasn't as commercial. I think that Monica has been embraced differently than Brandy by the culture, and that's why she would win. But I think vocally Brandy is better. So it is like that. They are 2 totally different people. But yeah, I mean, as far as the verses goes, when I got this list, I got these 2 sheets that kind of like their rap sheets of their their history, the top hits and all of those things. It breaks it down super, super intricately. They're actually much closer than I thought they were. As far as how many like number one hits they've had, how many times they've been on the Billboard, things like the things they've been nominated for, like they're actually, like Brandy is right on. I'm like Monica might have 4 number one hits and Brandy got 3. Like that. Like she's right on Monica's heels.
Exactly.
So
but people don't know that.
Better than I thought.
People don't know that because Monica, she was the rebel. No one's gonna push the rebel. Sis had a tattoo on the rise of her career, and they're telling her, do not get a tattoo. And she pops up with a tattoo, and she made rocking a band on your arm cool. People didn't even realize why she had the band on, and it's to cover a tattoo.
That's
Brandy
true.
Whatever.
Her hair. I mean, Monica was 15, rocking this super adult haircut. Yes. Brandy had braids. She was definitely presented as the sweetheart of the two. Exactly. And the thing is, I don't even think that Monica necessarily was rebel in the sense of like, you know, being like the bad girl, because her music was still appropriate. It wasn't like, you know what I mean?
I want to get down, but not the first night.
Some, not all of it.
So she wasn't. It wasn't like they presented her as just a wild card.
I want to get down, but not the first night.
Right, but if you're proposing that she be up against Brandy, then yes. But who wasn't the rebel against Brandy in the 90s?
Who was what?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Who wasn't a rebel post up against Brandy in the 90s? Brandy they almost tried to make her exhibit perfection. I'm talking about from the show to who she was as a superstar outside of that. And she talks about that.
Yeah, hence the meltdown.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's like anybody's going to be a rebel against Brandy if they kiss a guy on TV.
But I guess that's why... I think that's why I kind of like Monica a little bit more. I felt like Monica was just a little more relatable, just a little bit, just in the sense of the things, what her music touched on. And I just feel like what we got was the real rap her all the time. I think Brandy was put in positions sometimes that she did stuff that she didn't necessarily want to do. Like, it was just like, this will help my career, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And then I gained a new respect for Brandy on Never Say Never. I said, oh, okay. Like, I don't feel Monica has a Never Say Never.
That's my favorite Brandy album. I respect it.
I don't think Monica has a Never Say Never. I love Monica, but I don't... Her albums don't do it. I'd be like, God damn it.
That matters. What is your full body of work? Because we say whatever we want to about a single, but singles are very intentional. Okay, so they're going to be the best song. But when I play all 12 to 15 tracks in a row, okay, because we can talk about the first Brandy album all the way through, and that's even on the interludes.
Yes.
That, and then Never Say Never, even for me, is my favorite personally. So I mean,
that's my favorite Brandy.
That's a good point. It's like the body of work. It's like, can I listen to your album strictly? Monica's albums have never struck me as like,
nope, and they never will. I hate to say it. I don't think that's the motive sometimes with her. I just think it's like, I'm gonna show you I can sing. I'm gonna throw a couple of fire tracks in there, and everything else is gonna be fillers. Monica,
why do you want to do that? Why? Who thinks
that sounds like a horrible idea?
Fillers.
I'm just saying because
album takes to put out.
I'll give her this. The best that I feel like Monica, like, it was full-fledged, and you were like,
which album?
You came close. It was almost there, but this will do. After the Storm.
Where she's just standing. That's the one that hurts the most on there.
So gone over you.
That album.
Standing
there and her hair's like blowing in the wind or something like that. Right?
Yeah, she's standing there. Yeah, I hate to say it, Monica always standing in her album covers. Like, that's like the norm for her.
Just her face. She just like looking over her shoulder. Like
But yes, Hurt the Most is on that album. It is.
I really love it.
I just did the replay. Hurt the Most is on there. But it's just like that was a good album, and it was just like, but it's not a Never Say Never. Like, Never Say Never, you don't skip nothing. Like, you just sit there and let it rock out.
Or even a Full Moon, because to be honest, for most Brandy stans, Full Moon's their favorite album. Most.
I've been seeing,
and I think you're late. I think you're late if Full Moon's your favorite album by her.
I don't even think
you're
it's their
late to the
favorite because
party.
it's their first one that they loved. I think
Ja.
people love Full Moon because of the production. And that was when Brandy came into her own.
I grew up listening to Brandy because of my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to Full Moon in its entirety maybe 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. And you still can.
That might be my favorite Brandy album.
Fire.
And that's like, you know, I grew up on Brandy and Never Say Never. I listened to Full Moon in its entirety and I said, this might be the one.
Honestly, my house was a Monica house because like all my sisters, and then like I said, Monica used to go to the shop where my sister used to work to get her hair done, and so it was a Monica house, and I was just like a weirdo.
I like Monica. I even think when it's like personality wise, I think I do relate more to Monica. I think I'm more like Monica than Brandy in real life, based off what we can gather from their personalities. So I like her. Like I watch her documentary and everything. But like,
got a doc?
Yes, you do. I haven't seen it. Is it good?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's good. But I feel like at some point it has to.
What is the doc? I was on a Space Jam soundtrack and I married Shannon Brown. Like, what else is there?
No, you're silly. You're silly. She's dealt with a lot. Thank you, Keith. She's dealt with a lot, Keith.
She actually has dealt with a lot.
I want to get down.
Dealt with a lot, Keith.
But not the first now.
I'm objective when it comes to artists.
I honestly feel like any artist in the 90s, especially like a woman artist, probably dealt with so much. But that's just my
not even just in the industry. I'm talking about like in her personal life. She's gone through a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember she had that show, and then that guy wrote that song for her. I can't even remember what song it was, and I always thought it was a song she wrote, but it was like a song that he wrote, and it basically talked about her life, and she broke down and was crying as he was like singing the song to her that he wrote. I don't even remember what song it was though, but it was like when she had that show. Like
I remember her show. Still Standing.
I can't remember the name of the show.
That's Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole had a show. Not Monica.
No, Monica had like a thing.
Monica's first show was this.
Cole and Monica. So
Monica had a show. It was Monica.
I don't recall.
I feel like Alana told a joke, but I didn't hear it.
I didn't tell a joke. I was just saying that I could have mixed them up because I feel like I'm most like Keisha Cole and Monica, so I do mix them up like the stuff.
It was Still Standing. You're right. It was called Still Standing.
Because I think one of her albums was called Still Standing.
Yeah, so it was like a show where it's called Still Standing, and one of the songs I could have sworn she wrote it.
Wait a minute, that was a show? I thought that we were just following her making that album.
It was something. I used to watch it on TV.
I just remember the show.
I will cross the ocean for you.
But I think that okay. So I will say this: when I was originally presented with the versus information, I was underwhelmed because I felt like I don't know. I just have this perspective that majority of Black culture just embraces Monica more, which only makes me want to protect Brandy more. But like I feel like because of that, I feel like y'all just gonna want to hear. And y'all gonna one have amnesia for the songs Brandy produced it or came out with that y'all loved, and then two, y'all just don't like Monica because y'all really don't have an ear. Y'all don't actually know that Monica can't do what Brandy can do.
But Brandy gets all the praise.
Like you said, that
people give her vocal props all the time. Like somebody
people
just went on a
know
rant.
But people do not do it to the extent that they should. People really don't be knowing.
People don't be knowing.
They really don't be knowing. Like I'm telling you, the vast majority. The vast majority don't know.
I saw the crazy. That's why I don't post on Instagram anymore because, like, I'm like, man, people really don't be knowing what they talking about. Like this girl, she posted. I can't wait for Monica to do her thing so people can finally realize that Brandy can't even sing. Brandy talks. Brandy sings how she talks. I'm like, no, she doesn't. And I'm like, I just commented, shaking my head.
I will never go as far as to say Brandy can't sing.
But that's what I'm. No. Katz is saying that she's not. But that ain't even the thing. And I love how y'all went on the tangent. and like just completely disregarded my question. That's cool.
What was your question?
Y'all had a great see, don't even know my question. Great dialogue. But what does Brandy play after Monica plays It's Just One of Them Days?
I didn't even hear you ask that question.
You never asked it.
I didn't.
What?
I brought up a
question.
This is a new question.
Yeah, what does she play? I definitely want to know that. What does she play?
No.
Sitting on top of the world. I knew it.
Brandy probably plays Whenever I'm down, call on you.
Yeah.
That
wasn't even on this list that I got.
Fam, this is a perfect matchup.
It's gonna be good.
They both came in winning.
One of the things I keep seeing is people putting Angel in Disguise versus Angel of Mine. I want to say that Angel in Disguise is thoroughly disrespected amidst this preparation for this battle, because that is also a time when Brandy, for most people, started to get what they call a little weird in like her sound.
What, Angel in Disguise?
Angel in Disguise.
No, that's never said never.
I know it.
I love that beat on that song. A little bit
into herself. The sound. This is the reason why people pick Angel of Mine, is because it sounds very traditionally and typically R&B.
I'm picking Angel of Mine.
And the overall message.
Most people are saying, but right, Angel in Disguise isn't necessarily that. I haven't even picked one. I'm just saying that I was just annoyed because people.
Oh no, I'm definitely going with Angel of Mine.
I ain't like that. The only thing I don't like about Angel in Disguise is that Brandy tries to do poetry. I don't like when she does that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But I don't like when Ella May does it either, or her, and I love them. Well, I love her.
I realize I don't like when Lucky Day raps.
And you like them?
I don't like when Lucky Day raps. Like,
I haven't heard the poetry. She's a great writer.
After I got over the fact of like how amazing his album was, like his
album is good.
I just sat in on the raps, and I'm like, he needs to stop doing this. He needs to stop rapping. It's like when Usher was rapping on his song.
U.S.
Oh.
What?
Usher was smooth, Keith. Stop it. He was smooth.
What you want to do with me?
No, it's not that song, because we all love that one, right? It was another one. It was another one. Like, why you keep rapping?
Stop.
There was
My Way. It was My Way.
I think it was My Way.
Rap on My Way. That was terrible.
I think it was My Way, Sha.
That was My Way.
I think I blocked it from memory because I don't even remember.
How you do that?
How you block stuff from memory?
I told you to be going to therapy.
That's called suppression, T.
Oh yeah. That stuff's gonna come up during one.
All those things. Well, those things.
That's gonna come up during one session. I'm gonna be screaming. He's gonna be like, "What is it?" Like Usher rapped on My Way.
Badass. See, read it. See with the kids. All in the mix. All
oh my God! No,
it's me. That was it. Don't concern me. So forget it, little midget. My mind's on 7. Plus, pay heaven skies a digit per digit. I'm pulling on skies, knocking down on spots. Say you can't front. So from this day point, you know it's all about he. And what I do, it be the major leagues. That's why your girlfriend's paging me. And you know, and she know, you don't see it like I see it, so she's out the door.
That's how he was rapping?
Yes.
You know,
the next part is these are the words.
I thought that was it.
I was Jermaine Dupri. That sound like JD rapping. That sounds like JD rapping.
I checked out after Badass Senorita. I checked out.
Back when I was a kid, I was like, "Oh, I know this verse." I'm like, you. I'm like, I'm Usher. You Tyrese.
No, but
make my little cousin be Tyrese. You Tyrese.
Nobody want to be.
Not in that video. No. He was in Angel of Mine, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
I think he was.
Full circle.
Yes, he was.
I don't think I like the way she's.
Full circle.
I agree with that.
With that ugly piercing he was rocking, that was hard.
That's when he was the Coca-Cola guy.
Yeah,
I know where that was when he was the Coca-Cola guy.
He was the Coca-Cola guy.
I mean, he was still very handsome, but that was a little off-putting.
The Coca-Cola was? Oh,
really?
He had a picture of like a tattoo of a sun around his navel.
Yes.
Which actually made
me making that he was giving off different vibes back then.
I met a Scorpio. I came to get mannish. You mean you came to get mannish? Either you a man or not. Nah, I can only get mannish because I got this navel tattoo.
God, I'm a Capricorn.
So it's
And his belly
mannish.
button. Please don't forget that his belly button was pierced as well. So don't sleep.
All right, we not even gonna talk about that no more.
Yeah, he was on a whole nother vibe.
I knew none of this, but I guess I wasn't supposed to. It wasn't for me. So
That's wild.
I never this is like.
That's a whole other podcast. But I'm excited about the verses.
She said that's a whole nother.
Okay, so yes. What was I going to ask? Yes, songs that they must play.
That's hard for me to answer because
ain't hard for me to answer.
Tobias, songs that they must play because it's going to be harder for. Well, it's going to be hard for Alana. Sha got it in the bag. She said so.
All right, it's like
Broken Hearted with Wanye.
How you say it's going to be hard for you?
I feel like
I decided to step out of my understanding of her albums.
Let them answer first.
Yeah, get out of the mindset of albums. Versus is about singles.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about singles.
It ain't about.
They can't play no deep cuts because some people ain't gonna know.
People won't know it. Right.
They're going to play the songs that resonate with people because neither one of them has 20, honestly.
They don't.
Nope.
No, they don't.
Oh.
Nope.
Broken Hearted. Brandy has to play that. She obviously has to play Sitting on Top of the World.
Sitting up in my room.
She has to play Have You Ever.
Absolutely. The hell? Like, I'm not trying to be rude. It's a solid. She has to at least use 5 songs off of Never Say Never. That's just my opinion.
Almost doesn't count.
That song's so dope.
For her.
That song's so dope. If she don't use that.
No, she's going to. I don't think Brandy's one of those people that doesn't know the songs that everyone likes.
I think
So, my question,
she got to play the song with her and Chris Brown. She has to play that.
I hate that song. If you put it down right, like the way you want it, make a fall in love.
Yeah,
she has to play that song.
I didn't think she would play that one.
I don't know. I think Monica
has the every time the beat drop, whatever that song is. Y'all remember?
I can't stand that song, but I know she's gonna play it.
Hey Monica,
I know she's gonna
White
play
Tee?
it. The remix.
She on White Tee?
Remix.
Clean in my white. Ain't Monica on there, Sha?
I hope not.
Remix. It's a remix. Nothing that you should want to talk about. It was like one of those things back when mixtapes were hot.
Yeah. What does Monica play? What does Monica have to play? She
has to play "So Gone." She has to play it. That's her anthem. She has to play "While I Love You So Much." She has to play.
What song is that?
Before You Walk Out of My Life.
What song is "While I Love You"?
Baby, it's yours.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I thought that. Maybe that's the reason why I love you so much.
It's okay. Angel of Mine, what we already mentioned.
She has to play Angel of Mine. She has to play, of course, she has to play Don't Take It Personal.
Yes.
Wait. Was that song about periods?
What?
Oh yeah, that's the rumor that song's about. Yeah.
That song is about letting females know that, you could really be into a guy and feel all these emotions, feel all these feelings, but you don't have to do everything on the first night.
I gotta listen to it.
Hold off.
One of them days.
Yeah, he's talking about one of them. That's what I'm talking about.
She said don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal. That's that song.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
But I don't think it's exclusive to that. Because sometimes you just don't feel like it. It's just like moodiness that you just
All right. What are the other songs that she has to play?
Like This and Like That.
It's like, how'd that go?
I saw that. What is that?
Like this and like that, I am gonna move along. That one.
Oh, that's a dub for Brandy. That's one for Brandy.
Yeah.
It's a point for Brandy.
Right. But it's not a strong song, but she's gonna play it because she actually released that as a
They're
single.
both gonna play. Brandy has to play "Missing You" with CeCe Winans and
If she don't, I'm sorry. I'm going to tune out. I'm gonna be like, I'm good. Like, because I'm like, we're not being real here. Brandy killed that song. Like, I'm sorry. If she won't play it,
you won't know to the end though. You might watch the whole thing and she'll be like, dang, she didn't
but I would know because you could kind of tell. You could tell the direction they be going. And I watch almost every verses, almost. But I'm just like,
everything to me. That was a pretty good song.
Everything.
Yeah, everything to me is gonna come late. She's gonna play that.
You should have known better. That was a big song.
You should have known better. I don't really like that song.
What makes you think that I would forget about?
Because it's like it's too Monica. It's like, Monica, we know you love holding niggas down that is locked up. We know, like, oh my God, like, don't encourage that shit, Monica. Don't encourage that. Like, I'm so sorry. That was my only problem with that song. And it's so crazy because to me, it's like a hood anthem. Like certain girls just love that song. It's not. That's why I'm like, that's one song that I'm like, yeah, y'all love that song.
But I think that I have a thing for, I like hood love songs. So that's
and that's what that is her career. Like, Monica will give you a good.
I love Monica. And that's why I love Keisha Cole too. That she probably gonna play Trust with Keisha
He got
Cole.
priors. Then I don't want him. No.
Right. But Trust with Keisha Cole, she's probably gonna play.
Yeah, she's probably gonna play Trust.
Which I love.
They're both gonna play The Boy Is Mine. I think they're gonna play their verses.
That's gonna be their 20.
Here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen. They're gonna do 20, and then they're gonna do The Boy Is Mine last. They just gonna perform it. Okay. I don't think they're not gonna do that.
That would be smooth. That would be smooth.
They gonna perform it together. That's it.
She has to play Sideline Ho.
What song is this?
I remember Sideline.
I've never heard that. Is that like an anthem for Sideline hoes, or is it against Sideline hoes?
She is putting these hoes in check, like the whole entire.
So she's putting them in check. I thought
talking to them.
Oh, okay, I thought it might have been like from the sound of it. I was like, is this where she's like,
they make Sideline Ho?
I think
Monica don't look like no Sideline hoe.
She's not.
No,
Monica look like the main.
She is the main. She's the main talking to the sideline hoes.
Right.
Got you.
So she's like asking them, aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of playing the sideline? Aren't you tired of not being the main? Like, she's asking them questions throughout the whole song. I like that song.
So it's 50 questions, whole style.
Yeah. She's gonna play Still Standing. She may play With You.
What song is this?
With You.
With you, with you, with you, with you, with you.
It's a beautiful love song.
Say what, Sha?
It's a beautiful love song, but it doesn't get much recognition. She will play.
I know about Monica.
Yeah, she's gonna play Knock Knock, even though I think she's gonna more so do that. I only think so because it's Missy. Like, that's why.
Granny gonna play What About Us and get that song right up out of here.
What about us?
What about?
She's also gonna play Who Is She to You?
Who is she to you? Don't lie to me. Oh, Brandy got songs with Kanye West.
She does.
In A Dozen Roses. She's gonna play Dozen Roses.
Brandy has songs.
Yeah, that song's fire. That song's fire.
Brandy has 20.
That's Kanye.
Now that I'm thinking about it, Monica has 20, but it's not a strong 20.
It ain't no hit 20.
No, it's not a strong 20
it's
at
like,
all. It's like you gotta be
Monica
a fan to know
Club.
It.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta be a fan to know it.
Yes.
You gotta be a fan to know it because Monica, like, don't get me wrong.
Did we convert her by accident?
Monica about to play 5 songs of y'all slept on this.
She played her
stuff. Not that we slept on it. It was just like, that ain't it, Monica. Like,
that gonna play her stuff, and I'm gonna be the only one on the live.
That's gonna have 5 bitter songs that she feel like we slept on.
Mm-hmm.
Remember this?
This is on the deluxe version,
right? What y'all didn't buy.
I think where she gonna tear us up at is like the I think what's gonna be the deal breaker is going to be the feature side of things. Brandy has stronger features than her, in my opinion.
What has she been? What is Monica featured on? I know Trust because she killed Keisha Cole in her own song.
Yeah, she did.
White
tea. That.
But stop saying white tea, Keith. That wasn't even like for real.
Watch her play it though.
These my boys. Them franchise boys. Them franchise boys.
My boy.
Literally. I hate it.
Y'all slept on them too. Show them franchise boys some love.
By the end of her whole set. Well, I hope y'all was real rested these last few years, cause
every time we franchise boys on it.
Those are special guests. Think of what she gonna bring them out.
Yeah,
and they gonna be in their Alvin and the Chipmunk team.
Essential workers.
Stop, man.
Where you got the essential workers?
She has to play "Love All Over Me."
What song was that?
Oh yeah. I forgot. I got
that was around the time of Everything to Me.
That sounds
everything.
And they're gonna play their second song together. I think it's gonna be Boy Is Mine for an opener, and then at the halfway mark, they're gonna play It Belongs to Me.
I forgot about this.
Mark.
Dang, they keep arguing on these songs.
I know they can't like it. Nothing.
It's mine.
Right, it belongs to me.
I bought it first.
Right.
I don't like that second.
I bought it first.
I liked it off the strength that it was cute. Like, you guys are back at it again, huh?
Y'all better agree on something. Y'all the next song need to be
agree on something.
The next song need to be "You Right, He Was Yours."
You can have the next song is "You Can Have It."
Yeah.
A gospel song.
No way.
Oh my God. That's why don't nobody think they like each other.
The next song be "You Can Have Them." You can have them there.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Just gonna get killed on features.
My bad.
Oh my God. Dang.
That's my only thing.
What features Brandy got?
She worked with Kanye. She worked with Chris Brown. She worked with Wanye.
Those is her songs.
We mean like what whose stuff was she on?
Right. You mean like features, like people featuring with her?
With her.
I got songs with her cousin.
Oh my God! How did I forget this?
Follow the dog.
Ludacris is her cousin.
Yeah, Ludacris is her cousin, but their songs together don't be fire. I hate to say that.
Because you can't rap on a song with your cousin.
It's awkward.
What I can't talk about the things that I want to talk. You know what I mean? I can't talk about
man.
And then I saw my cousin over there. She was looking real nice. Like you can't.
You look pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty. Why don't somebody come and talk to her?
But I forgot slow jams. She has to play slow jams. She has to, and that's with her and Usher. I think that's one of her strongest.
Her and Usher is fire.
Brandy ain't got an Usher song. Dang.
Brandy don't have an Usher song.
Yeah, that slow jams hit different.
Caesar song though.
That's not a hit, and people don't like it for whatever reason. And Daniel Caesar is canceled.
Wow.
He said some stuff about All Lives Matter like last year, and people ain't been right.
Didn't he say something about black women too?
He's also from Canada. Like, that's why I'm like, just be quiet, yo. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
Too. Yeah.
I
said, I think he said something about black women too.
It was all in that. It was all in that little soliloquy that he had, like just that tangent that he went on.
Ooh, slow jam with Usher. That was a good one.
Slow jam.
Slow jams with Usher.
That's a good one.
That's an automatic. No matter what Brandy plays, for the most part.
That's a dub.
Yeah.
Like her features, like I said, her features just aren't strong. Like she got a song with Trina that people don't even know about, and I'm just like, her features just aren't strong.
You were supposed to be on here to sell her.
But I'm honest. That's my thing. I prefer Monica over Brandy, absolutely. But I'm honest. I'm not one of these people that's going to like go to bat for something that is not true. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? That's just not true. I'm not. I
hate fans like that of stuff who are like, this is awesome because of that person. Like people I get when I start having conversations with people about Lil Wayne, I'm like, he's not making sense, and they're like, no, man, Wayne was. I'd be like, he's not making it. It'd be making me mad.
Now you talking to the biggest.
You ain't talking about Lil Wayne.
Yeah, you talking to the biggest Lil Wayne fan right above you.
Yeah,
who's the biggest Wayne fan?
Hey, we can have a conversation. I like Lil Wayne too.
Not me.
Sometimes. Not
You're
you.
pointing at me.
In my screen, I'm pointing at her.
Oh, okay.
On my screen.
I don't know if we should have that conversation based off of the preference that you've already given because I want to continue being your friend.
What? You won't be my friend no more?
Depends on what you got to say.
I like Lil Wayne. I just think since he's been heavy on the I feel like after the Carter 2, he slowly descends and making.
Oh no! Carter 3 is fire.
No, the Carter the Carter 3 is fire, but I think the Carter 2 is like that peak, and then after
that's why I said you couldn't be talking about old Wayne saying he don't.
Yeah, old Wayne.
Old Wayne is fire, but then as he gets newer, it's like certain stuff where I'm
fire
just
man, fire man.
Like I was listening
fire for fire man.
I literally was listening to.
If you going like that fire, I'ma light you out. If you going like that fire, I'ma light you out. Fire.
I was listening to the Mob today, but after that, it's like a lot of stuff where he's slowly. He's like, man, he's not he's not what he was.
Nah, he's nowhere near what he used to be.
It's kind of like not how we were talking about Nas. He's aging gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Wayne is it.
Fire.
Okay, you're a big Wayne fan. What do you think about his latest project? Did you like it?
I liked a few songs, but I'm honest as well. I mean, I know he's not what he used to be. I think I don't think he cares to be what he used to be.
I don't think so either.
That's the truth. I don't think that he doesn't have the capability because you'll feel it every now and then. As a fan, you'll hear it through some of the songs. You'll hear a piece of it, oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
that's a little bit of old Wayne, but he's not that overall. I think that right now he's just lazily approaching music, and I feel like he doesn't feel like he has anything to prove. And unfortunately,
he's not a man.
That's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah, I heard a Rick Ross feature from him, and I was like, yo,
we are not the same. I Am a Martian.
Oh, that's the name of the album?
No, I'm saying that's
the line.
What was the album? Because he got an album talking about he not a Martian. He a Martian.
That was Carter 3.
No, there's an album. He did
he has one called Not Human or something like that.
Yeah. That's what I think he's talking about, that Not Human.
No, it's called I'm Not a Martian. I'm a Martian. Martian.
He has one called I'm Not a Human Being.
No, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the
I think I finished it for him. I'm like, I know you're not a human being. You're a Martian.
Yeah.
We are not the same. He says that in a lot of songs. We are not the same.
Wayne.
But Wayne's hits are always better than his albums.
We're getting ready to close this podcast. We will be right back to end it off. I thank y'all for talking about Lil Wayne and stuff. That's dope. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, we are back. Hopefully you heard some commercials in between that. If not, we're still working out the kinks. This episode is dedicated to Alberta Spruill, I believe. I always botch these names. I'm horrible. But she was, so we are still in our say her name mode. We're going to be there for a while. We're going to be there till God tells us otherwise. And it's so sad that we actually have this many episodes to just rattle off all of these names to you and tell you their story. And it kind of makes me feel nasty, if I'm to be honest, because you looking up different women every week to talk about, you know what I mean? It's and you have to remind yourself you're not just looking up names for your podcast. You're looking up names for awareness. You're looking up names so that people can feel the gravity of what has happened and continues to happen. And I have to keep reminding myself of that. And so it's been beneficial for me, honestly. I'll read a little bit of this. A 57-year-old Harlem woman, and y'all tell me if this rings any bells. No pun intended. Sean, by the way, Sean Bell is getting a biopic. Executive produced by...
And my man, Jason.
Dude from Jason Mitchell, yeah.
Jason LaMacia,
who was canceled, so he's executive producing it himself. So we gonna look past your transgressions because
he said he ain't do it.
Oh,
Sean.
He did.
I know he said that he didn't do it. But okay, all right. Yes, you're right. He's saying he didn't, and that needs to be.
At least he spoke, unlike Tory.
That needs to be. Well, like when you in a legal matter, it's best for you to shut up. You know what I mean? You in a legal situation, don't speak. A 57-year-old Harlem woman preparing to leave for her longtime city government job died of a heart attack yesterday. This was May 17th, 2003. Yesterday morning, after police officers broke down her door and threw a concussion grenade into her apartment. The police commissioner said they were acting on what appeared to be bad information about guns and drugs in the apartment. Commissioner Raymond W. Kelly apologized to the family of the woman, Alberta Spruill, and said he had ordered an investigation of the entire incident and suspended the use of the grenades, which are meant to stun and disorient people with a loud noise and a flash. He said that he had reassigned the lieutenant who made the decision to use the grenade to administrative duties pending the investigation, and that he would review how the grenades were used and search warrants carried out. This was in 2003.
Is this not the story where a little girl got shot? Because something similar like that happened. A little girl got shot when they got in the house.
During this. Because I'm I'm reading this. I'm thinking, I believe there's more to the story.
Yeah, I feel like once they got in the house after they threw the grenade, that they shot a little girl that was cheap. I think that the grenade woke her up and they shot her. And she died.
Wow.
I'm just confused as to whenever outside of war a grenade. And then maybe I don't know a lot about it, so I could sound ignorant saying this, but I've never known a grenade just to be a warning sign of through the flash and the sound. I've always known a grenade to actually be explosive. So it's like people run from grenades, and they wouldn't be doing that if it was just because it's bright and loud.
Right.
I don't know any grenade that isn't created to blow stuff up.
I'm 57.
Right.
Someone broke it down to me.
And she wasn't 57. She wasn't 57.
But what I was saying, like somebody.
But she was 57.
Someone broke it down to me. Essentially, what happened was, I think they said it was like the 70s or 80s. We were like in a Cold War with Russia, I believe, and so our military was building all of these forces. And I'm botching the whole thing because they broke it down to me very detailed. So I didn't I didn't like read up on this before I started trying to explain it to you guys. But basically, our military was bulking up because, the Cold War, they didn't know what it was going to lead to. Kind of like how we're almost in a Cold. They was relaying it to how we're all about to be like in a Cold War now. And so we put, of course, like America, we put all our money into the military and to all of these things. And then what essentially happened was nothing happened. No official war. So then we had all these, we had all this equipment, we had all this stuff that needed to go somewhere. And so then, hey, let's give it to the cops to justify it. And so then that's why you have these situations where cops have guns with rubber bullets that they essentially don't know how to use, or things that they're mistrained on, like grenades. Like, why, like you said, why would they need, like, they build a whole division around all of this stuff that was really meant for war, a SWAT team. And so then they give it to the cops, don't really properly train them. So then they got rubber bullets that they're like not supposed to like actually shoot at people, but actually shoot at the floor so it bounces off stuff. But they don't do that. They shoot it at people's heads. People lose an eye. People die. They got grenades. They get, how people are, our macho man. And then they bust in somewhere where there's a little girl and an old lady and throw grenades. And so essentially, this is how it was broke down to me. they have this stuff that they don't even really know how to use themselves because it wasn't even really meant for them. And then it hasn't gotten better over time. They haven't been like, well, hey, let's train them better. Nope.
And that's what we mean by defund the police. That's what we mean. So while we wait for justice, we are also in wait for next week's podcast. So we started this new segment where we give suggestions of songs or just art in general of things that you guys could be abreast of in lieu of returning back to us, your favorite podcast, or one of them. Also, when Soul Vibes returns, whenever that might be.
Sirloin.
I got a while you wait suggestion. Read your Bibles, because apparently y'all are surprised that meteors are about to hit Earth, and the Bible has been telling y'all to get ready for the longest time, and that's one of the signs. So
you know what's crazy?
Get yourself together.
I literally been saying I was like, yo, people be thinking I'm joking. I'm like, that's a sign of the apocalypse, and people laugh, and then I just be like,
no, it is.
Yeah, I be like, I'm not saying a joke.
Coronavirus, some can look at as pestilence.
Mm-hmm.
It's pestilence. Y'all read your Bible while you wait. Read your Bible.
While you wait, read your word.
Tobias, here's some extracurricular material for us. You said something about country love songs or some show you had. And then you suggested an anime last week. I went on after the podcast. No, I'm not watching no anime.
It's good. But Lovecraft Country is the show produced by Jordan Peele. It's pretty good if you like. Well, you know what Jordan Peele is into these days. He's into like scarier stuff with black people. It takes place in the 50s, I believe. So of course you're gonna have your racial issues during that time, on top of like whatever they're running from. So that's something to check out. But so far I've watched the first 2 episodes and it's pretty good. Yeah, I recommend it.
I'm trying to think of what I have to suggest. I don't know if I have anything to suggest for you to do. I do second reading your word. I do want to catch up on what you're talking about, Tobias. I don't know. I caught up on The Game and Moesha.
Hey.
I watched them both all the way through. I think that you can do that while you wait if you need a few reminders. The Game is one of the corniest and funniest shows. Like when I laugh at them loudly.
Is it like
I used to laugh like that in the early 2000s, and it still makes me laugh like that because it is ridiculous. It is. It's a funny show. It's just funny.
It's very funny. Kelly Pitts is by far my favorite character on that show.
It's so funny. Every character has something about them that's like, you actually genuinely make me laugh.
Right.
Of course. And if I laugh loudly, I think something's really funny. While you wait, catch up on The Game. It was one of my favorite shows then. I still love it. And yeah.
I like that genuine laugh.
Too on Netflix, so it shouldn't take you that long.
Right. So yeah, that was a very fun show.
What?
Very fun. Very fun.
Shao, what you got?
I picked up a new show. It's called P-Valley. P-Valley.
I've been hearing about
I've heard.
P-Valley is very entertaining. I will say this: if you are biased to
read your word, then watch P-Valley, and then read your word again right after.
Yes.
What is it on? What's P-Valley on?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes.
On the commercial, watch Read Your Word.
Thank you, Keith.
Is it one of those?
That show is off the hook. It is off the hook. Like,
I've heard like it's kind of wild. I haven't watched
It's very wild.
What
but
is that? I'm curious. What are you guys?
I like shows that show me a lifestyle I know nothing about. I like shows like that, and it has strippers.
Look this up.
It's about strippers and like their livelihood and how they go about things, but it's so many stories from every stripper. Like everybody got their story.
We talk
everybody
about strippers
got their
on this
struggle.
show. Drive by strippers.
But it's a little bit. It's a whole lot of homosexuality.
Oh. So read the word.
So that's why I say tread lightly. Like tread very lightly.
Follow your own convictions.
I felt like I kind of wish now you didn't tell me what it was about, so I could have been like, oh, like,
you're still gonna do that. Trust me. You're still gonna do that. Like you're gonna be like,
I feel like it would have just been a funny surprise that you'd be like, oh, I don't think I'm watching the wrong show. I think I'm watching the wrong show.
Listen, that show.
like that's.
I find myself going, wow, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, but it's very entertaining, and like I said, I enjoy people's creativity when it comes to writing. I'm always seeing what envelopes are going to be pushed, like how deep are you going to show your knowledge on the subject. And I'm not gonna lie, these writers that are out here with these shows, man, they putting in some great work.
So let's say, is there a good
putting in great work.
Or this show, is there actually a good plot and story to follow?
Absolutely. It touches on take out the homophobia, like take out what you're seeing, right, and just put yourself like somebody going through that, just not that in that dramatic manner, So that's what I like about it. It's just like okay, like I'm.
I don't know what happened.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
God was like, no, I don't want y'all.
What was funny?
What Shari said, hold on. I know she's still on there. She just shy, you blacked out, or like, yeah, we can't hear you anymore. I didn't do anything. I didn't press anything.
I feel like he was like,
no, y'all saw my hands. I didn't do anything.
I didn't see him. I wasn't looking, bro. He was like,
check it out. Check it out. I've heard things about it. Oh man, one more thing, we got to talk about this real quick, or just mention it. Honorable mention.
Honorable.
Even though Lon isn't here, but these, again, segments, and y'all be saying that we don't have segments. We got mad segments on this show. Mad segments. Segments that we don't even use every week. That's how many segments we have. Next week, I'll have a who sampled it for you.
Hand over fist with the segments.
Nice. We'll figure out that tally system for you.
Oh, I didn't even do it because of that. I know.
Tomorrow you guys will be hearing this, but today was Kobe Bryant Day. The day before was Kobe Bryant's birthday. I speak for this whole entire podcast and Sharice when we say, Kobe, we love and miss you.
Sure.
It's still prayers to the Bryant family and all the other families that were affected in the crash of Kobe Bryant's untimely demise. I want to normalize this. Kobe is passed. Please stop mentioning Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan in the same breath and saying that Kobe Bryant wasn't better than Michael Jordan. Respect the dead.
That's gross.
Like I was listening to sports, I was listening to ESPN radio, and it was I'll never say that Kobe is better than Mike. I can't say it. I'm like, fam, today is not the day for that.
That's not even the point anymore.
Not the point anymore. We don't care.
We don't care.
And Michael don't care because Michael knew Kobe wasn't. Michael knew Kobe was better than him, but that's another thing. And Kobe never cared.
He didn't.
So I just want to say, Happy Kobe Bryant Day. Anything else? Anything else y'all want to sign off with? We've been here forever, but
Nah, man. I hope everybody has a good week. Whenever you're listening to this, stay safe, be blessed. Whatever it is that you feel like you're procrastinating on, I read somewhere that procrastination is really a form of fear. So
Yes.
Absolutely.
For sure.
tackle it, do it, be great.
So that's fear?
Yes.
Wow.
Pastor C.
Now you just changed my whole mentality. So now I'm gonna be like, nah, we ain't procrastinating because I ain't never scared. Like,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry guys, my phone died.
It's okay.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah, I didn't
You
even
were really
I was
going.
like, oh.
Okay.
I was like, I never say bye, so I just thought you just took it to a whole nother level. I was like, okay.
All right, guys. Well, that's it. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate y'all. This was really dope. I didn't say anything this podcast. This was great. More
Thanks
of
for
these.
having me. I love this podcast.
Sean, come back anytime, please. What are you doing next week?
Probably the same thing I've been doing this week, going to work, coming home, you know.
Oh, I'm gonna send you the link.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, next week this time, the Brandy and Monica battle will probably still be.
I know. So what are we gonna do? We need to do something. What are we gonna do about that?
I don't know.
What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing Sunday?
Same story for me.
I don't know.
We need to figure out another day because we definitely can't do it Monday.
We've got to watch it. So
yes,
I'm fine with Sunday.
You fine with Sunday?
I think I should be good. I feel like I said I was going to do something Sunday, but I can't remember what it is right now.
This podcast.
That's fear.
Right. You said that's fear?
Forgiveness is really fear.
No, it's not. Hey, y'all. I love y'all, man. Peace out. Y'all say salutations. That's y'all cool. Y'all too cool to say goodbye. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Yes, bye.
Bailey,
see y'all.
Bailey, Daddy loves you.
See you later.
All right.